Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Venus and Adonis, which is a very long poem about a woman sexually harassing a man so far. We've got Venus hitting on Adonis and Adonis really not wanting much to do with it. And if you're okay with that sort of a setup, today we're going to look at stanzas 29 to 32. If you're not, then maybe tune out for a little while until we get on to a different thing that's not about sexual harassment. So anyway, Venus has been very not subtle in her desires to make out with, to sleep with, to have sex with Adonis. She's throwing herself at him. She's, wrapping him up in her arms. And yesterday she was saying, why wouldn't you want me? I've slept with the god of war, and I'm a good conversationalist, and I'm beautiful, and all this stuff. And by the way, you yourself, Adonis, were made to breed, like you were born, therefore it's your duty to desire or to continue the species, to procreate. And she continues in stanza 29 saying, upon the earth's increase why shouldst thou feed, unless the earth with thy increase be fed? By law of nature thou art bound to breed, that thine may live when thou thyself art dead. And so, in spite of death, thou dost survive, in that thy likeness still is left alive. By this the lovesick queen began to sweat, for where they lay the shadow had forsook them. And Titan, tired in the midday heat, with burning eye did hotly overlook them, wishing Adonis had his team to guide, so he were like him, and by Venus' side. And now Adonis, with a lazy sprite, and with a heavy, dark, disliking eye, his lowering brows overwhelming his fair sight, like misty vapors when they blot the sky, souring his cheeks, cries, Fie, no more of love. The sun doth burn my face, I must remove. Ay me, quoth Venus, young and so unkind. What bare excuses makest thou to be gone? I'll sigh celestial breath, whose gentle wind shall cool the heat of this descending sun. I'll make a shadow for thee of my hairs. If they burn too, I'll quench them with my tears. This is getting a little silly, I think, is what's going on here. So anyway, the first of these stanzas, she's just continuing on with the, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to breed, so let's go ahead and breed. And then it switches to the narrator talking about the fact that the sun is very much rising in the sky and getting very hot, but the other gods, the god Titan, is looking down at them and becoming envious of Adonis, wishing that they could swap places. But in the third stanza, since it is getting so bright and sunny and hot outside, the shadow in which they were sitting has moved, and now Adonis is like, oh, it's too bright out here, I gotta get out of here. So he gets up to leave, and she's like, seriously, you're gonna get up and walk away from me right now? I'll make shade for you. I'll make shade for you out of my hair, and if my hair catches on fire, I'll put it out with my tears. So she's getting maybe a little silly, maybe a little desperate at this point, but this is supposed to be a funny poem, so I hope maybe that makes you laugh. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow for more and see how Venus plans to woo Adonis. I mean, she's going through lots of different tactics. We'll see what tactics she employs tomorrow to try to get Adonis to come over to her side. I'll see you then. Mwah.